Have you ever had an itch that just wouldn't go away? Maybe it showed up out of nowhere, kept you up at night, or just felt different from a typical dry skin itch. If you're over 60, something like that might feel easy to brush off at first. It's probably just the weather, you might tell yourself. Or maybe you think, it's just part of getting older. But here's the thing, not every itch is harmless. And in some cases where that itch shows up on your body, might be your body's way of trying to get your attention. So I want to have an honest conversation with you today, one that could actually help you spot something important early on. Because the truth is, certain itchy spots on your body after 60 could be signs of serious health issues that if left unchecked, could shorten your lifespan. And I don't say that to scare you, I say it because you deserve to live a long, healthy and fulfilling life. And sometimes small warning signs like an itch are the first clues that something deeper might be going on. Now before we get into it, I just want you to know, you're not alone in this. We all face new challenges as we get older. The trick is knowing which ones to pay attention to, and what we can do about them. So let's talk through these itchy spots together, and look at what they might mean, how to recognize the difference between normal and abnormal, and most importantly, what steps you can take to protect your health. Let's begin with a spot most people don't give a second thought to: the lower legs. A little itchiness here and there might seem normal, especially during the colder months when skin gets dry. But if your lower legs are constantly itchy, especially if the skin looks shiny, feels tight, or appears darker or discolored, this could be a warning sign of a circulatory issue. When your blood doesn't flow well, it can cause the skin to become irritated. Your veins might be struggling, especially if you've noticed swelling in your ankles, or that your legs feel heavy at the end of the day. For people over 60, this kind of itch isn't something to ignore. It could be linked to conditions like chronic venous insufficiency, where your veins aren't effectively sending blood back to your heart. Now think about how you've been feeling lately. Do your legs ever feel warm to the touch, or appear reddish or purple in color? Do you scratch at them without realizing it, especially at night when you're resting? That persistent itching, especially when it gets worse in the evening, or after sitting for a long time, could be your body's way of saying, hey, I need better blood flow. What can you do about it? Start by checking your legs daily, not just for itching, but for any swelling, discoloration, or discomfort. If something seems off, don't wait. A simple Doppler ultrasound can help your doctor see how blood is moving in your veins. And the good news, most of the time, these conditions can be managed with things like compression stockings, gentle exercise like walking or leg lifts, and watching your salt intake. I know it's not always easy to take that first step and get something checked out. But imagine the peace of mind you'll feel knowing what's going on, and knowing you're doing something about it. You're not just reacting, you're taking control, and that alone adds quality and time to your life. Now let's talk about another area that many people overlook: the scalp. You might think, itchy scalp, that's just dandruff. And yes, sometimes it is. But persistent itchiness on the scalp, especially if it's accompanied by hair loss, redness, or a burning sensation, can point to more serious concerns. One of those is something called scalp psoriasis, which often gets mistaken for dandruff. Psoriasis isn't just a skin condition, it's an autoimmune issue that could be linked to systemic inflammation in your body. And when inflammation is left unchecked, it can increase your risk for other serious conditions, things like heart disease, diabetes, and even certain cancers. Inflammation is like a slow-burning fire inside the body. You may not see the flames, but over time it can do real damage. And if your scalp is always itchy, irritated, or sore to the touch, it's worth asking your doctor whether something deeper might be going on. There's another reason to take scalp itch seriously. In rare cases, it can even be a sign of skin cancer, particularly basal cell carcinoma. This form of cancer often starts as a small sore or red bump that doesn't go away. And if it itches or bleeds, that's a red flag. Especially if you've spent a lot of time outdoors over the years, it's worth having your scalp checked during your routine skin exams. The scalp is easy to forget about because we can't see it, but it's just as important as any other part of your body. If something feels off, if you've got spots that keep itching or flaking no matter what shampoo you use, don't dismiss it. Take action early. You're not being dramatic. You're being proactive. And that's what this is all about. Really being proactive instead of reactive. Tuning into your body. Listening closely. Because after 60, your body has a lifetime of stories to tell. It remembers every habit, every stress, every choice. And it's still speaking to you, even now. The question is, are you listening?
We've talked about the legs and the scalp, two places where an itch can be a quiet signal of something more serious. And now, let's shift our attention to an area that often surprises people when we bring it up. The back. Not the upper back where you might get a little sunburn in the summer, but the mid to lower back, especially along the spine or just around the shoulder blades. Now here's why this matters. An itch in this region, when it's persistent and hard to soothe, could actually be linked to something happening deeper inside your body, your liver. Yes, your liver. A healthy liver filters toxins, helps with digestion, and keeps your system running smoothly. But when something goes wrong, whether it's fatty liver disease, a bile duct issue, or early liver damage, one of the first unusual symptoms can be an unexplained itch, and it often shows up on the back. This kind of itch is different. It doesn't always come with a rash or any visible sign on the skin. It might be deep, hard to reach, and feels like it's coming from underneath the surface. You might notice it more at night or after a meal. It's the kind of itch that makes you press against a wall or grab a brush, not just for relief, but to calm that restless feeling that won't go away. If you've experienced something like this, take a moment to think about what else you've been feeling lately. Have you been more tired than usual? Losing your appetite? Do your eyes or skin look slightly yellow? These might be subtle, but when you put them together with a persistent itch on the back, they could be early signs of liver trouble. The good news is that liver issues can often be reversed or managed, especially when they're caught early, but they usually don't scream for attention. They whisper. And that's why being in tune with your body is such a powerful thing. If you notice a back itch that sticks around for weeks with no clear cause, don't ignore it. A simple blood test or scan can give you answers and peace of mind. Even if your results come back normal, you've still taken an important step. You're looking out for yourself. You're saying, I matter, my health matters. That kind of mindset of taking initiative and listening to your body makes all the difference as we age. Now there's one more area we need to talk about, and this one might surprise you even more than the back. It's the palms of your hands. That's right, the palms. We use our hands for everything. Cooking, cleaning, gardening, holding a loved one's hand. But when your palms become itchy, especially without any visible rash, it can sometimes be a signal of something happening inside your body that needs your attention. For people over 60, itchy palms may be linked to something more than just dry skin. One possible cause is a condition called cholestasis, where bile flow from the liver is reduced or blocked. Just like we discussed with the back, liver and gallbladder issues can create a buildup of substances in your blood that irritate the nerve endings in your skin. And the palms and sometimes the soles of the feet are common areas where that irritation shows up. What makes this especially tricky is that you may not see any redness or flakiness. The palms might look perfectly normal, but the itch, it's relentless. You might find yourself rubbing your hands together constantly, running them under cool water, or waking up at night just needing to scratch. And that discomfort, especially if it doesn't improve with moisturizer or hand creams, is a red flag worth paying attention to. Here's something else to consider. Itchy palms can also be a sign of a thyroid issue, particularly if it's combined with other symptoms like changes in weight, fatigue, or cold hands and feet. The thyroid affects so many systems in your body, and when it's off balance, it can affect your skin in subtle ways. Sometimes an itch is just your body trying to tell you that something in your system needs adjusting. It's so easy to write these things off. We say things like, it's just part of getting older, or I probably touched something I'm allergic to. But when that itch lingers, when it doesn't come and go quickly, your body could be asking for support, and giving your body that support doesn't have to be complicated. It can start with something as simple as making an appointment, getting a blood panel done, or talking to your doctor about your symptoms. And if you do find out there's something going on, whether it's your liver, your thyroid, or something else, you have options. You have treatments. You have time. And more importantly, you have the power to respond instead of react. That's one of the greatest gifts of being older. You've lived enough life to know how to listen and how to act when it matters most. You've made it through so many seasons. You've overcome so much. And your health, it deserves the same attention and care you've given to everyone else all these years. Whether it's an itch on your legs, your back, your scalp, or your palms, your body isn't just making noise. It's talking to you. With kindness and patience, it's asking you to check in, to notice, to care. Because every day you wake up is a day with new potential, and you deserve to feel good in your skin, literally and figuratively. So don't ignore those little signals. See them for what they are, a gentle nudge, a quiet reminder that your health still matters, maybe now more than ever. When you stop and think about it, your body has always been talking to you. Every ache, every change in energy, every sensation, it's all part of the conversation. And sometimes the quietest signs are the ones that matter most. That brings us to one more area of the body where itchiness, especially after 60, can be more than just a surface-level annoyance. I'm talking about the chest, right across the upper chest area, where your collarbones meet, down toward the center of your chest. Now, this is a place where a little itch might be blamed on a tag from your shirt, dry skin, or even a reaction to detergent. But when it becomes persistent, when it feels deeper than just the skin, when it seems to flare up in the evening, or after a warm shower, this is when it's time to pay closer attention. One possible reason for this type of itchiness is heart-related. That might sound surprising, but it's true. The skin on your chest is sensitive, and it's connected to nerves that can reflect what's going on inside. When the heart isn't pumping efficiently, especially in conditions like congestive heart failure, or when fluid begins to build up in the lungs, it can show up as discomfort or itchiness in this region. Some people describe it as a tingling or crawling feeling they can't quite scratch away. Others say the skin feels tight or warm, even if it looks completely normal. If that sensation comes along with shortness of breath, fatigue, or swelling in your legs or ankles, you're looking at a pattern that deserves medical attention. What makes this particular sign easy to miss is how common it seems. Itchy chest, we assume it's the soap, the weather, or just a random irritation. But if you've changed products, tried moisturizers, and still find yourself scratching or feeling uncomfortable in that area, especially if the sensation feels internal rather than external, it could be worth checking your heart function. And just like the other examples we've talked about, this isn't about panic, it's about peace of mind. If everything checks out fine, that's wonderful. But if something does come up, you've caught it early. You've given yourself more time, more choices, and more freedom to live your life without health surprises creeping in. Now let's also take a moment to talk about something that's rarely discussed, but needs to be. As we get older, many of us learn to live with discomfort quietly. We shrug off the small things. We say, oh, it's not worth bothering the doctor, or I'll wait and see if it gets worse. And I understand that. You've probably spent most of your life putting others first. Your kids, your spouse, your community. You're strong. You're resilient. But sometimes, strength looks like asking questions. It looks like speaking up when something feels off. An itch might seem like such a small thing, but when it persists, when it shows up in places tied to deeper systems in your body, like your liver, your heart, your circulation, it becomes more than a nuisance. It becomes a signal. And you have every right to listen to that signal and respond with care. Now maybe you've been dealing with an itch for a while. Maybe you've tried all the creams, changed soaps, even thought it was just your nerves. And maybe no one's taken it seriously. That happens more often than you'd think, especially with older adults. But you don't have to accept that. Your symptoms are valid, your experiences matter, and your concerns are worth investigating. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel just knowing what's really going on. No more guessing, no more wondering, just answers. And with them, a clear path forward. That's what you deserve. And remember, even if the itch isn't pointing to something serious, addressing it can still improve your quality of life. Better sleep, less irritation, more ease in your day-to-day moments. That matters too. You've earned the right to feel good in your body, not just to survive, but to thrive, to wake up and feel refreshed, to go on walks, travel, hug your grandchildren, sit in the sun, and enjoy your life fully, without distractions from discomfort or worry. What I hope you take away from this is simple. Don't ignore the signs your body gives you. Don't write them off as nothing. Don't assume it's just age. Because age doesn't mean decline. It means wisdom. It means having the insight to see patterns, the courage to seek answers, and the strength to take action when it counts. You're not fragile. You're not invisible. And you're certainly not too old to care for your health in meaningful, proactive ways. An itchy leg, scalp, back, palm, or chest might seem like a small thing on its own, but your body is a system, and everything is connected. When you learn to listen with patience and curiosity, you give yourself the power to live better, feel better, and even extend your lifespan. And isn't that what it's all about? Not just living longer, but living well, living fully. being present in the moments that matter most, whether that's laughing with your family, pursuing a hobby you love, or simply sitting quietly with a cup of tea and feeling good in your skin. You deserve that kind of life. You always have,